Hello everyone, welcome to Central Texas Gardening. Today's video is going to be another one about composting. I would like to share with y'all how I layer my compost, the differences between your browns and your greens, and trying to get that perfect ratio for your compost. So stick around and let's make some black gold compost. In my previous video, I gave a tour of my composting setup, but I think now would be a good time to explain how I like to layer my compost. The importance of layering can lead to well-balanced compost once everything is broken down. Now, this explanation may be more geared towards people who have barrels set up like I do, or something very similar, but layering can be extremely important, especially to all of y'all that have what I would call maybe a stationary compost pile, one that can't be tumbled or turned over on a regular basis. Let's first start with the differences between greens and browns when it comes to composting. Browns are a very essential part of composting with high carbon content and includes things all around you. There are simple things such as untreated sawdust, wood chips, shredded toilet paper and paper towel rolls, cardboard, and of course my favorite, leaves. Leaves are everywhere and they're completely free. Green items are made up of your table scraps such as fruits and veggie leftovers, fresh grass clippings, coffee grounds, and my favorite, chicken manure. Unlike brown items, they are rich in nitrogen. What you're trying to achieve is a good balance of green and brown items. Here's my homemade mini composting bin that I made for explaining how I do my layering. Now, it's not imperative that you get these thicknesses correct because let's face it, when you go out into your backyard, when you go throw things in your composting bin, you're not going out there with a tape measure and measuring how much of each item you're throwing in there, or getting test kits to measure the amount of carbon to nitrogen ratio in there. But remember, it is more important that you are composting more than it is about measuring the correct thicknesses and ratios of your browns or greens. So let me show you on my layering technique using my homemade mini composting bin. Layer 1 is made of around 3 to 4 inches of brown material. In this case, I have shredded leaves, cardboard, shredded paper towel rolls making up roughly around 3 inches of space. Layer 2 is where you move on to your green items. In this case, it's mainly made of chicken manure, some kitchen scraps, and some coffee grounds. This layer is around 1 inch thick or so. The next layers kind of repeat themselves, going all the way up from your browns to your greens and back to your browns. You want to get a ratio of roughly 1 part greens for every 3 to 4 parts of brown. So one simple way to tell if you're getting a good ratio or not is if your compost has an odor to it. If you notice it's smelling pretty bad, you probably have too many greens in it, at which point I recommend you cut back on the greens just for a little while and focus on getting some more browns in there. That should help stabilize it and get rid of that odor over time. For my compost bin, I usually add my chicken manure and kitchen scraps and coffee grounds for about a week, at which point I will then add a thick layer of leaves and cardboard on top of that. I will keep doing this until I reach the top of the barrel, at which point I will discontinue using this barrel and move on to my second. This way, my first barrel that I'm using for compost, I'll give that time to break down while I use my second. If I know I'm going to be needing to use compost in the next 2 to 4 months or so, I'll go ahead and seal off that one barrel and let it continue to break down until I need it. So having 2 barrels, that gives me the benefit of letting one completely break down when I fill it up. And I have another one I can go ahead and keep throwing my kitchen scraps and my chicken manure and all my leaves into. So that way I'm not really having to waste anything in my house or outside. I'll always have a composting bin available while the other one's starting to break down. Remember to have fun in the process, but do not stress yourself about having to get that perfect compost. The important thing is that you are composting. And the feeling you have that your garbage from your kitchen and outside is going into your garden and giving your family a bountiful amount of vegetables, that's probably one of the best feelings you can have when you're making your own compost. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't done so already, get some composting bins. They don't have to be exactly like mine. Anything will work. Start throwing all your kitchen scraps, your leaves, if you have chickens, your chicken manure, your cardboard boxes, anything in here, and I guarantee you it'll benefit your garden tremendously. Let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful or if you have any questions, and please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.